Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. In a previous episode you saw that I'd made a start ripping out that ugly brick fireplace, which initially was going to be just opened up so that I could put in an electric stove, but as there was no lintel, I then decided to go all out and go ahead with my dream wood burner installation. So let me show you what's been going on since then in the living room. It's 6:30 p.m. on Saturday and it's 3 or 4 days until the wood burner is due to be installed, and today I've been in the living room getting incredibly dusty, pulling off the plasterboard that was on the walls. So you might remember, if you've watched videos before, that there was some extra boarding that was on the walls in here, and today I've been pulling all of that off. And the reason why I wanted to do this was because the boarding was going over the coving, and I'm the sort of person that notices these things, and to me it ruined the look of the coving because part of it was how it should be and the chimney breast wall wasn't. This is how the living room is looking at the moment. So basically there was a layer of wallpaper, a layer of this mesh membrane, which was I believe a damp proof method, and then there was a layer of plasterboard. This actually took me so much longer than I expected because there was only this section here that was boarded, and then sort of like around the chimney breast, a lot of which had already come off whilst I was investigating the fire situation, and then there was this whole wall up here that was boarded as well. This would have been so much easier to do had there not been close to 100 of these bloody things holding the plasterboard in place. So these were drilled into the walls. As you will now see, there are lots of holes, which was basically holding the plasterboard to the mesh. So I was having to jimmy out all of those, and basically it's taken me all afternoon to do this. And then to add insult to injury, the whole reason of doing this, to expose the coving as it should be, was a complete waste of time because the board went up to here and that gap has been filled in with bonding. So I'm not going to be able to expose all of this properly, which I am absolutely gutted about. You should be able to see here what I mean about that's how far down the coving should be, and then basically the bottom decorative part has just been filled in with bonding plaster. So it would be an extremely painstaking job to try and get all of this off, if it would even come off at all. I tried it up here, a big chunk of clothing came out, and up there too. So now the whole reason of wanting to take that plasterboard off has ruined the coving even more than it was before. So I'm extremely gutted about that. So I've now got to think of an alternative way of fixing this. There is a place in Manchester that does beautiful plaster castings, and they do plaster coving, ornaments, ceiling roses, all of that stuff. And we've used them before and it's brilliant stuff. So what I'm wanting to do, it'll have to be one day next week because they're closed now, probably after work, is go down there and look at a couple of different options. I think the options that I've got in least to most expensive, seeing if I can just remove the bottom part of the coving that has been covered up with the bonding and see if they can maybe do a mould and a replacement piece for the bottom so that it all looks the same. Second option, pull down that wall of coving and replace it with the same or very similar. This is pretty standard coving in this area, at least anyway. It seems to be like what is in every single living room that hasn't had it removed of this age of property. And I did have a quick look on the website, and I think that they have got something that's similar, if not the same. So the second option would be to have all of that coving just on that wall replaced. Third option, and this will be dependent on how the ceiling looks when I've actually got it stripped off, would be to pull the whole ceiling down, because the plan was with the ceiling to just try and patch it up as best as possible. The plasterer did say, because it's the Latham plaster, cracks will probably appear over time in it. It's not going to be perfect forever. So the best option in terms of having the ceiling looking as good as it can do for longer would be to pull the whole ceiling down, reboard it. But obviously doing that would have affected the coving, so that was the option that I didn't want to go for. So the third most expensive option is to rip down the whole ceiling, rip down all of the coving and get it all replaced. That's going to be incredibly expensive. If I remember rightly, the last time we had a full room with brand new coving, I think it cost about £600 or £700, so it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap to have some really nice stuff put back up that looks like it would be original. So I'm going to take some photographs and a little bit of a video probably as well to take to the casting shop and see if they can come up with a solution for me that doesn't involve me ripping down the ceiling, because I thought I could easily do it. It's going to be a skip and it's going to be very messy. And then I watched some of the restoration couples videos where they've done it in several rooms, and it's completely put me off. It's such a messy job. It's going to be more expensive to do that. So I've kind of talked myself out of that if there are other options. So the ceiling still needs stripping. That is definitely not going to get done this weekend because I really can't be bothered. The plasterer was actually meant to be coming next Saturday to plaster in here, but I've sent him a text and just said I'm not going to be ready for it. I don't want to spend any more time in here this weekend doing that ceiling. There's other things that I want to be getting on with, because I did kind of have to force myself to do that today, and feeling a little bit down about it now because the coving hasn't turned out how I wanted it to. So before Wednesday, which is when the fire's getting put in, I need to make sure that this room is all tidied up and cleared. So hopefully I'll be able to take this plasterboard to the tip, and then the rest of it I'm going to have to bag up, because I'm probably going to end up getting a skip so it can all go in there. I'll just have to move it outside and keep it out of the way. So yeah, I'm a little bit gutted about that. Sunday tomorrow I'm going to carry on doing some stuff in the kitchen and try and get that finished off. So as I've mentioned before, I'm not showing anything else in the kitchen now because that's going to be a whole video by itself. So I'll catch up with you when I've been to the casting shop and I can find out what I can do to fix that coving. It's woodburner day. I've got everything sort of cleared up in here. I've ordered a skip which will be here in about half an hour. So I'll be able to load that up and the guys will be here soon to make a start. Bye bye fire. So the stove is in and it looks great. I am so happy with it. Obviously it's going to look so much better when the room's decorated. But here it is. So it does look a little bit lost in there because it is quite a big opening. Initially I did want to go for a bigger one, but they didn't have the one that I wanted in stock until I think it was the end of October, which I just wasn't prepared to wait that long for it. So this is the one that I went for. I've got an oak beam, mantle, whatever you want to call it, and a Brazilian slate, I think it is, hearth. So it's all in one piece. I prefer it like this. I think it looks a lot more streamlined. So this is just drying off at the moment. And I just went for a basic fireboard on the back, so that's going to get all painted up. And then some spotlights. So these are just on a plug, so I'm going to ask the electrician to come back to put that on a switch. But I can just imagine like how great this is going to look in the winter. I'm so excited. So now I want to show you the wallpaper that I'm going to go for. So initially, I'd actually picked this one out, and this was back when I thought that I was going to still be having the dark carpet. I'd ordered this and I'd picked up 2 rolls of it, and now I've changed my mind. I've decided I don't want it anymore. I'm going to put it up in the bathroom just to brighten it up a little bit. So the next sample that I was going to go for was this one. But then when I brought it home along with another sample, that's a little bit too light. I don't want to go with that one anymore. So this is the wallpaper. It's like a teal, green, blue with gold geometric print, which is going to be in each alcove. And then this is the paint that I'm going to be using on the chimney breast. It's teal number 3 from Lick, and Lick will be working with me for this living room makeover. They've gifted me some paint that I will be using. So I just love this colour. I think it's gorgeous. I was actually going to go with an olive green initially when I was thinking about the other wallpaper, but this teal goes so perfect with this wallpaper and I love it. I think it's going to look really classy when it's up. And then on the rest of the walls, it's going to be beige number 2, which is a very, very similar colour to one that I've used in the past, but it is much more warmer and a little bit darker. So I think that will add some warmth to the room. So the beige number 2 on all of the other walls, including down the sides of the windows. This paper in both alcoves, and then the teal all over the chimney breast. So, oh my god, I just love it. It actually feels so much bigger in here now. I think because you can see to the back of the fire, it really has given that illusion of having so much more space. So this is me standing in the hallway now, and I'm just so excited to get this done. It's going to look amazing. Still waiting on the casting company getting back to me about what we're going to do with this coving, which until I know what's happening with that, I can't get the rest of the room plastered, because if that coving's going to have to come down, obviously the plastering needs to be done behind it and then the coving goes on last, because I want to know if they can just repair the bottom of it or whether it will be the whole lot that gets done. So I'm going to have the plasterer on hold for a while until I know what's going on with that. I still need to get the ceiling strips off in here just so that we can see the state of the ceiling. Up here is particularly bad, so what I was thinking was, if the coving does come down, this part of the ceiling could probably be removed and replaced, boarded over perhaps, and then everything can be skimmed. I think that's probably the best thing to do with it. I'll see what the plasterer says, because that definitely looks like the worst. The rest is hopefully just hairline cracks. It's looking so much better already, and I'm so excited to get this room done. So the guys did say actually they had to rebuild part of the chimney breast, and I'd asked them their opinion on the TV on the wall situation, and they advised me against it, if only for the fact that the brickwork wasn't amazing. They said obviously there was a risk drilling into it that it would fall backwards into like the chamber, which obviously I don't want to happen, so I'm going to have to look out for a really nice mirror to go up there, and find myself a nice TV stand as well, I think, because I don't want to use the other one in here. I think I will be getting some new furniture. The beautiful sideboard is going to be going back to its rightful owner, my mum, so she's clearing some space for it and we'll be getting rid of that over the next couple of weeks. I don't know whether I'm going to be getting a new sofa in here just yet. I think the one that I've got at the moment will tie in with the gold in the wallpaper, so I want to sort of like hold off until I've found like the absolute one that is going to look perfect in here, because I think what I will do is get a 2-seater for here and a 3-seater for here, or maybe 2-seaters, I don't know. I was maybe going to build some cupboards, but I don't think that I will anymore. I don't know, I will have to wait and see about that one. And then the bay window can be where the Christmas tree goes in the winter, and that's just going to look fantastic. So I'll probably look at getting some quotes for the blinds and just get all of this room looking top notch. Everything really feels like it's coming together now. Whilst the guys were here doing the fire, I've been spending more time in the kitchen, so I've painted the ceiling in there now. Well, I've done 1.5 coats, covered in drips, so I'm probably going to get that finished off tonight, because it is actually 5 o'clock now, so it's actually been nice having a day off work back at the DIY. So I'll get the kitchen ceiling finished off. I've carried on doing the tiling, so I'd like to get that finished off tonight as well. So in the not too distant future, the kitchen's going to be done, the living room's going to be done, and it's going to be feeling a lot more like a home. So my mum has actually said to me that she is going to come over and do some wallpaper stripping for me, which I'm really grateful for. I'm going to I'm going to get the wallpaper stripped off in the bathroom, use like the palm print one in there, give it a lick of paint, and I'm going to have to just get some vinyl flooring to go down in there just to get it looking a little bit more decent, because I'm hoping sort of like October, November time I will be at a stage where I can get someone out to value the house for the remortgage, and then hopefully have all of the money that I need to carry on doing the big work next year. So I obviously need to get the house looking a lot more decent than it does now, so that I can pull more money out of it basically. So yeah, little jobs like tarting the bathroom up, the same in the hallway as well. I'm going to get the bottom part of the wallpaper, because it's got a dado rail. In fact, I'll show you what I'm going to do in here. So all of this paper is going to come off. I'll probably just pick up another paper to do underneath the dado rail. So this is going to be the hall and up on the landing as well. Keep this up and just repaint it, repaint the ceiling and everything like that. Probably just put some laminate down on this section, and then what I thought I'm going to do is actually reuse the carpet from the living room to do up the stairs and on the landing as well. With having such like messy big jobs coming up, like changing the bathroom and things like that, I don't want to pay for a new carpet when I've got one that will probably fit. So it's just to get it looking a little bit nicer than it does at the moment, because the hallway and the landing is probably going to be the last thing that ever gets done in the house, because obviously it's the room that gets used throughout renovations. You've always got to use your hallway, so there's no point in going too mad with it. So it will be a quick tart up on the hall stairs and landing coming up by the end of the year too. So all systems go, and now I'm just waiting on the casting company to come back to find out what we are going to do about that coving situation. The coving can get fixed. The plan is going to be that the bottom that has been covered up with the bonding is going to be taken off and replaced. They're making a mould of what's missing basically. What he did was, the fitter actually came round and took a little chunk off there, which is basically going to be used as the mould for all of the rest of it. Got in touch with me and said he's actually going to be able to come and do that at some point next week, and he's going to give me a ring over the weekend to book in a day. So as soon as that's all sorted out, I can then rebook in the plasterer. So that's actually getting done a lot quicker than I expected. So I really need to get this ceiling stripped, but to be perfectly honest, I cannot be arsed. It's midweek and every night when I've come home from work I thought I need to do it, but I'm too tired and I can't be bothered doing it. So I'm not going to do it at the moment. There's no rush for it. I'll maybe try and squeeze it in on Sunday because I'm actually going away this weekend, having some fun, being normal and being social. So I will be taking a break from doing some DIY for the rest of the week. I'm not really in the mood for doing much after work. I have been quite tired because I've been doing bits here and there and I've not been relaxing. So this weekend is definitely going to be a chilled one for me. There's going to be a hangover involved. I can tell it's going to be coming. So I'm going to get my hangover out of the way, and if I'm feeling okay on Sunday when I'm home, I'll get that ceiling finished then. I'm still going to be trying to do weekly videos, but I don't know whether that's going to work for long term. So if I'm ever not posting, I will just throw it up in the community tab so that you can see that. I know this video has been very chatty and you've not seen me doing actually a great deal of anything, but that's okay as a one-off. So if you do want to see bits that I'm doing in between videos, because I might not be posting as much as usual, don't forget to go and follow me over on Instagram, where you will be seeing like bits of things that I am getting up to. So thanks very much for watching guys, and I will see you in the next video.